Hi everyone, it's Amber from Sweet Am's Cookies. In this tutorial, I'll show you how I made these cookies for New Year's Eve with royal icing and gold luster dust. The first thing you'll do is flood your plaque cookie with black flood consistency icing. My flood consistency is 15 to 20 second count. If you want to learn more about it, you can take my online class, Royal Icing 101. The link is in the description. The cookie cutter that I used is a 4-inch plaque and it's available in my shop. And now I'm using the Scribe tool to help shape the icing. And then you'll set this cookie aside to let it dry overnight. And now I'm flooding the star cookie with that same black flood consistency icing and a decorating tip 3. This is a piece of parchment paper that I just crumpled up, and I'm placing it on top of the wet icing and then using my Scribe tool to just push it on and make sure that it sticks. I'm doing this just to add some interesting texture to the icing. And this cookie will also have to dry overnight. Once the icing is completely dry, you can trace the champagne glass templates with your Scribe tool. These templates are available to my Patreon subscribers along with my cookie and icing recipes. You can click the link in the description to subscribe. Now I'll paint the cookie with Crystal Colors Antique Gold Luster Dust. And I'm mixing it with a few drops of vodka. You can also use grain alcohol or any flavor extract like vanilla, lemon, or almond. This design was inspired by my nails, so I'm using that as a reference when I paint the cookies. I want the gold to be heavier at the top, and then I'll fade it as I get toward the middle of the cookie. I'm adding some dots to make it look more like glitter. Now I'm using medium consistency icing with a tip 1 to fill in the champagne glasses. This color is a mixture of brown and lemon yellow. Right here you can see that I had a clog in my tip, so I just used the Scribe tool to remove it. Now I'm using the Scribe tool to help shape and smooth the icing. This icing has to dry for about an hour before you paint it. I'm painting the champagne glasses with the same gold paint that I used on the black icing. Once the icing is dry on the stars, you can peel off the parchment paper. Now I'm using a dry brush to apply some gold luster dust. I added a few drops of vodka to the dust just like I did earlier, and now I'm using the side of the brush to apply a little bit of paint just to the raised areas of the icing. I'm using medium consistency icing to add a bead border with a tip 1. This is the same icing that I used to fill in the champagne glasses. The icing is very uneven because of the texture, so it was really difficult to pipe this border. You'll need to let this icing dry for at least 30 minutes before you paint it gold. And these are the finished cookies. If you have any questions about this tutorial or any of my cookie decorating projects, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye!